Ambastich, Taina Mangabuanch, or Nakta Chichaka, Washijun Abuth. Back when I was a little girl, that was more than 60 years ago, 70 years ago, even more. We had no electricity in the homes. We had no running water in the houses. We lived in one-room shacks. During the month of December, our parents would go out to the bush to shoot squirrels and dry the pelts and then sell them to use at Christmas time. Just before Christmas, we children would go out in the bush and take down a tree and take it to the house, and we made our own decorations from paper and other things, like for tinsels and stuff like that. We cut up tin cans, and we twisted them into little spirals, and we'd use thread to hang up on the trees, and it looked quite pretty. And we cut up, little designs of Santa or whatever, made little Christmas decorations ourselves, and hang them up. Come Christmas time, Christmas Eve, we would all go to bed early. Our parents were all cooking, and then Christmas Day, we would find toys under the tree. 1 or 2 toys, not anything expensive or elaborate. We were happy with that, just getting those 2 little toys or whatever we got. But the big part of Christmas was the feast on Christmas Day, and this is what our parents were always preparing for. The women would cook all night, stew dried berries and whatever, and the men, they spent the night cutting firewood and hauling water to the community hall where we were going to go. And then after we opened our presents and we had breakfast and stuff like that, there were no cars in those days. So we'd all get in our horse-drawn sleds, and we all pile up in there with all the food our parents are going to take, and we'd go to the community hall, which was about maybe 8 miles away from where we were. And the community hall used to be located now where the Goodstones live today. And we had a big community hall there, and everybody gathered. Of course, women got busy setting up the tables and getting the food on the tables, and we'd all line up and greet each other. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. That was the highlight of Christmas back in those days, the community coming together and celebrating together. That was the major part of Christmas. It wasn't for how many toys a child got or how expensive a toy was. It was just being together with other people and celebrating Christmas. And during the meal, they'd have the chief or counselors speak. Elders spoke. They taught traditional values and stuff like that. So it was more communal and more spiritual in celebrating Christmas.
I remember when I was a teenager, back in the 80s, from the early 80s to mid 80s, we used to have Christmas feast at the Nakota Lodge. Morning of Christmas Day, we would be at our homes, opening our presents and whatnot, and we always looked forward to going for that Christmas feast. I talked to my siblings, and we'd say, I'm going to take this doll, or my brothers, I'm going to take this, to show our friends and family what we got from Santa. So we'd take our stuff, and then we'd go to that feast. I remember the whole community was there. We had a turkey dinner. And then after, when that was done, people made a day of that, a whole day where you would munch on like little snacks, desserts, and then we would have a turkey supper. And us kids and some adults would be skating and tobogganing during that time. It was something to look forward to because everybody was there. You get to see your school chums and your whole family. I personally enjoyed the 80s Christmas. Yes, it was about the whole community coming together and celebrating the birth of Christ. Yeah. In our community, that was a main thing that we celebrated. It wasn't about the presents, or we celebrated the birth of Christ, and we feasted in his honor. Yeah, that was what I remember.